I guess reproduce, maybe. Continue the bloodline or some shit like that.
Bloodline to continue human race.
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
But
Because
what happens if someone says, no, I don't believe in reproductions and so on?
it's really, I feel like people are a bit too, like everyone is individual, so there's like so much individuality and everything, so it's really hard to like group literally everyone together. So it's kind of hard to say one thing for literally everyone in this world.
What happened, whatever created us, if that creator has told us?
To be honest,
Do you believe a creator?
I'm an atheist. I feel like
Okay, so can we at least say the principle is whatever created us should tell us that purpose, if we were to have an objective
I feel
purpose?
like it would be a lot easier for everyone if we would actually have a goal. That's one of the harder like parts of life, because like everyone kind of doesn't know what they're doing, because there's no like a rule book or instructions in life.
Also,
Yeah, you just go there and you're like, I'm here now. So like, in high school, let's be honest, high school doesn't teach you a lot about actual life. You're just like,
okay, so the purpose of life, Mansur, he said the purpose, actually it would be good if someone actually tell us that purpose.
I'm not saying it would be better. I'm saying it would be easier. It definitely would be easier, because everyone would just know what to do and that's it, and you're not like confused in life. But it's definitely not better. I feel like then the individuality would just disappear, because everyone would try to do the same thing, and then it's kind of like.
So it's good to have the individuality,
Yeah, of
the
course.
subjective purpose, as well as the objective purpose.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So you're good. Okay.
Okay.
So and then, what the idea of being open to God, like that would be the main crunch. Take over.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you have a very interesting outlook. Okay, not many people now give time to think about these existential questions, right?
Okay.
So I mean, you're quite open to it. I mean, so it's very interesting to hear that you are open to even think about these questions. In terms of our place here in this cosmos, do you consider it's just an accident as we are, or there is a cause behind
like a
our
fate,
existence?
kind of. I feel like I don't think there's like a cause for anything, to be honest. I feel like you just pick your own path in a way, so it's not like predetermined what for you to do. You just, it's really, for me at least, like my main goal is not subjective, but it's like I just want to find like the happiness in life, you know? So if you're living and you're not regretting the things you do, I feel like you kind of succeeded it. It doesn't matter if you're like successful with money or like you have a happy family or something like that. As long as you're proud of who you are, I guess, and you love what you're doing, then you're kind of succeeding. That's how I feel at least.
So in relation to our position here in the world around us, the cosmos, all
Okay.
cosmos, is it possible there was a time in the distant past where there was absolute nothingness?
Again, I feel like it is possible. It's definitely possible, but like I cannot say for sure. You know, it's kind of those questions. It's fun to think about, but I feel like it's almost impossible to be like sure about it, because like there's no way of proving it.
Okay.
So I feel like it's definitely a possibility. Yeah.
When I say absolute nothingness, I mean the absence of everything.
Yeah.
To give you an example, if I have a wallet,
Okay.
a money bag, and I say I have no money in it, nothing, can I give you £5 from it when I have no bank, no friends to borrow from? In fact, there's nowhere I can borrow
No, I feel
from.
like no. If you don't have anything, then you
Yeah,
cannot give it.
so that's what
if
I
we're
mean.
talking money-wise, yeah.
Yeah, when I have nothing, I have nothing. It's just
Yeah.
simply the absence of any money.
You don't have anything.
If we have at one point in the past where there was absolutely nothing like this, could we get something out of it?
No, obviously. If you think about it like that, then no. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the very important question from there. Since something exists now, there cannot be a time in the past where there was absolute nothingness. There cannot be, because this something could not come from this absolute nothingness.
Yeah, if you think that, judging by that logic, if there was actually a nothingness, then yeah, it cannot happen. You're right.
So what it means is there has to be always something in the past.
Okay, yeah.
Now think about it. Something always exists.
Yeah, true. If you think by that logic, then yeah.
Could it be the universe itself, or could it be the creator of this universe? These are the two important options or possibilities, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. There's like, again, it's either you believe in God, there's like actual, like a higher kind of being that creates everything, or there's something else. Again,
Because
like,
there's something that exists, we need to understand what are the attributes or qualities or characteristics of the something. Because that something would not be contingent, would not be dependent on anything, because otherwise the same question will apply. Where did that something come from? So there has to be eventually something that is independent and uncaused and not contingent or dependent on anything else.
okay, yeah,
Do you agree so far?
yeah, I agree with you.
So when we talk about God, we are talking about a being, an existing being, who is independent, who is uncaused, and who exists by himself, by itself, by himself.
Yeah.
And that's something also you would say has some other properties like possessor of power or energy. Would you agree?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Because without power and energy, can this being or this thing make anything?
I mean, no, if he has to like do something, I guess. Yeah, you're kind of a bit losing me, but I'm still like a bit with you. Yeah.
That thing that exists for eternity without a beginning is a possessor of energy, has energy to do things. That's why the universe came into existence.
Yeah, but again, I totally understand what you're saying, but you're following kind of like a rule set that you're making, you know? You're picking the thing. That there
Do you
must be, like-
disagree?
You see, I don't disagree and I don't agree with you. It's kind of, it depends on your own opinion, because these kind of things, it's almost impossible to prove, because like, how are you going to prove it actually?
But isn't this what we are doing now, using our rationality,
Yeah, but rationality...
using our logic to understand the reality around us?
Yeah, but...
Isn't this what science is based on?
Yeah, but science is based on facts as well. Like, you actually have to prove it with like...
Yeah, science
Yeah,
can
but this
only
is-
operate on a rational world where there is a cause and effect. So what we were just speaking about is that everything that we see is an effect, for which there has to be a cause which is uncaused.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with you.
So when we talk about God, people often consider like, oh, God is a thing that it's a religious idea. But if you think about it, the idea or a concept of God is something that's rational to even think about and consider and talk about it. It's a rational conclusion one can make to arrive at this position that there has to be always something eternally existing, which is uncaused, possessor of power and energy. That's only one quality I just mentioned. The other quality, I'm sure you would agree with, must possess self-awareness and a will. Because without self-awareness and a will, the thing that is now in existence would not even proceed. To illustrate with an example, suppose we have all the elements of how to make a tea or a coffee. There's the kitchen, there is milk, there is a cooker, there is a fridge, there's a water tap and everything. And there's even a pot or a cup and everything in this kitchen, right?
Okay.
All the things that you need to make tea. Sugar, without sugar, whatever you may like it with. If there is no active willing agent to make tea,
Yeah, you're not gonna make it. Okay.
it is never going to produce a cup of tea with 2 sugars, would it?
Obviously.
Never.
Yeah.
This universe would never come to existence in the way it is, with all its intricacy, with all its harmony of its laws, the physical laws that we're talking about. It will never arrive unless a willing, conscious, self-aware agent brought it into existence in that manner.
Okay.
Do you agree to that?
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
So this is what we say, this being that exists, we say is the creator of all that exists. Creator.
Yeah.
And this creator can only be one. Cannot be more than one, because then you will have a problem of 2 absolute entities in a clash. It's
But
simply irrational.
why cannot there be 2 though? 2 of them?
Okay? Okay. When we say absolute, because this creator has to be absolute without any need, independent,
Okay.
right? Can we have 2 independent absolute beings, rationally speaking?
I mean, if they don't collide, then I guess why not?
Independent. So, to
Yeah,
give you an
they-
example,
But why can't there just be 2 things that just don't depend on each other? And,
but are they independent and absolute? For example, if we have a car with 2 steering wheels, yeah? If we have a car with 3 steering wheels, you are in one of them and I'm on the other one. I'm independent of you and you are independent of me. I want to take the same car to the north and you want to take the car to the south. Where is the car going to go?
Yeah, of course, it's going to nowhere. Yeah.
So when we have 2 independent agents, absolute in their authority, in their might, in their power, there will be corruption, chaos and ruin. It's not going to happen. One of them will be overcoming the other.
Okay.
There can only be one who is absolute. So if I take the car to the south and you take the car to the north, right, and I willed it to wherever it went, and you failed in taking the car where you wanted, then you're not absolute. Then you're not almighty, you're not all-powerful, you're not independent in that way. You're not actually the one who is in need of anything, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You're sort of dependent on, my wishes and dictates, my overrulings here. So when we look at the universe, if the universe had more than one creator, the universe will come to an end, corruption and ruin. Imagine one creator says, I want rain right now. And the other one says, no, I want sunshine without any rain.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
Do you see? And this is one of the things in the Quran, the revelation, the guidance that we believe our Creator has sent us to the whole world, talks about this. Had there been more than one gods, there will be corruption and chaos in this world.
Okay.
And this is what we can understand rationally. So monotheism, or the belief in one God, is the most rational concept that our heart and our mind can accept. Okay? So when we say one creator, this one creator created us. That's what creation means. And the creation can only find out why we're here by finding out why the creator created us. We can't just make our own decision into why we're here, where we came from, and where we are going. Because our opinions will be subjective and speculative. It may not be the same reason our Creator has created us. Would you agree?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So what our Creator has communicated to us by saying, He created us to be grateful to Him, thankful to Him, and to worship Him. That's the only reason He's created us. No other reason. We have to take that answer from the Creator. We can't just say, oh no, I don't want to worship you because I didn't ask to be worshipped. The fact that we are given this life and this purpose, whether you like it or not, you are in it. If you're in the Titanic and it's sinking, it's no point complaining, why am I here, who put us in here? You're already in here. We are already in this life, and we need to know that there's a reason for our creation, and the way to be successful in this life and the hereafter, there is another life, is to fulfill the obligation that we are supposed to do. The reason of our creation is to know God, to thank God, to be grateful to God. This is the message of Islam. Surrendering our will, willingly and sincerely, to the will of our Creator, the one and only Creator. That state of affairs is called Islam, sincere, willing submission. And one who does that is called a Muslim, someone who surrendered their will willingly and sincerely to the one and only Creator. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense, of course.
Yeah. So, would that encourage you to consider further about Islam?
I feel like I'm still strong about my own opinions, but I definitely, you made me think more about Islam and everything. So obviously, of course, I respect it and everything, and I can totally understand how people feel this way and believe those kind of ideas. But for me personally, I would still go with my kind of way of because I don't really spend that much time about actually thinking about God. I'm just not a religious person. Maybe it's because of my upbringing or something, It's just me personally, I don't really go into those kind of things. But I totally respect other people who believe it, and yeah.
Do you know certainly what's going to happen to us when we die?
No, of course not. No, I have no idea.
Right. Would you want to know for sure? Because if you realize there is a reason for your existence here, the reason for my existence here, then it's actually important for us to know what awaits us when we die. Because if there is a life afterwards, and we did not do the works to achieve that life, then we'll be at a loss. Would we then able to blame anyone rather than ourselves?
Yeah, of course, it's going to be fully your fault. But again, with these kind of edgy subjects like religion, I feel like, at least I feel like there's no actual way of knowing what will happen after death, because the only way to know it is to actually die, I guess, because there's no people who can talk about it. And of course there's the religious texts and everything, but still, for me personally, it's a bit maybe not enough to believe what actually happens after death. But I feel like...
Is your question regarding the possibility of life after death, or the mechanism of it?
No, I feel like there's definitely a chance that there is life after death, and there's actually if you will fail in this life, you will be really you'll have bad consequences in the other one, But again, for me, there's not enough proof to actually change my way of life, to think more about the afterlife. So
that's the reason I asked you about, is it a question of possibility? Because if it's a possibility, and the mechanism, both the Quran gives us ample examples to illustrate why it's not only possible, but it's also necessary, using the means and mechanisms to arrive at the afterlife. So, have you had a chance ever to look at the Quran? Have you opened up? Okay. So, I can only urge you and request you humbly to read the Quran, reflect on it, and see what the Quran says about afterlife, what the Quran says about God and the reason of our existence. And when you do so, you will realize the Quran gives us answers which our heart and our mind can accept. And that is one of the things where when people submit to God, they submit willingly. Because otherwise, how can you accept something if your heart and mind is not in tune with it?
Of course.
Yeah. So one of the things the Quran does is also provides evidence of its own divine origin. Do you know some of the reasons or the arguments the Quran provides why the Quran is of divine origin?
No, I don't know much about Quran, to be honest. Yeah, but yeah, definitely it sounds like an interesting read, of course. So yeah, I would definitely invest some time into looking into it, I guess. Yeah.
Is there anything that will help you in this inquiry of yours, in this journey of exploration of yours about Islam, to be certain? Is there anything that we can help you with?
Nah, I feel like for people to actually start believing in this kind of to change religion, you have to get to that point yourself. You have to fully on change it. Again, maybe read the Quran and it will change your whole opinion. I don't feel you can make someone believe into something else. They have to go through that path themselves, So yeah, I'll definitely check it out. It sounds like an interesting way to see how other people see life, I guess.
Yeah. Because if there is a creator, as we alluded to using logical argumentations and rational understanding of reality, then obviously our heart and our mind should be eager to know about this creator. Think about it. I would like to know, the one who exists from eternity to eternity without any beginning. Who is this? Why am I not interested in finding out about this rather than only concentrating my focus on my life at present, about my job, about my studies, about my wife, or my girlfriend, my passion and interest? Because all of these things are momentary. I might live for, I don't know, how many years?
I'm 21.
A minute? Or a two? Or a year? Or a month? We have no guarantee.
Okay.
People die young. But definitely, we're not going to live for 150 years.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. So we know average lifespan is not even 150 years. That means, if this is the case, is that the end of me? Does that mean all that I see and hear, all that I long for, I want to love someone forever? I want to wish something forever. I want to be happy forever. Happiness, as you talked about.
Yeah.
This longingness or longing forever and ever, is it going to come to an end? If it's not going to come to an end, then I should know a bit more about what is awaiting me after I die. Because if death was the end of everything, the good and the bad, their fate is the same. Doesn't even matter whether you're good here or bad here, if death was the end. Because the worm is going to come and eat all of you, the good and the bad. Yeah? So what is there any reason to be good or bad in this life? But the fact that we know something in our heart that justice is something that we all should follow, that we all should approve and accept. So if injustice is committed, the people who commit injustice and they die, they should not get away with it. They should be accountable for what they have done. So there must be a day of accountability. There must be a day of recompense. There must be a day of judgment in which people should account for their actions and their belief of what they have done. Doesn't that sound rational?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, it's been nice talking to you.
Yeah, cool. Cheers.
It's a pleasure. What is your name?
Nikita. Nikita.
Nikita.
Yeah.
I will humbly request and urge you to study the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look into Islam, its belief, read the Quran, and of course, as you have demonstrated, you are an open-minded person. Read with an open mind, ask questions as you go by, and take this journey and see where it ends. If you are sincere, it will take you where the truth is.
Cheers.
That's my sincere belief.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool. Thanks a lot.
My
for
name
your
is
time.
Mansur.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah,
You
for
take
me as
care,
well.
and maybe we speak another time.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't want to make them. You don't want to say?